Good morning ladies and gentlemen. In this video, we are going to cover the current affairs of 5th of April. First question is, which Indian personality has been conferred the UAE's highest civilian honor, Zayed Medal? Right answer is Mr. Modi. So recently, UAE President has conferred the prestigious Zayed Medal to Prime Minister Mr. Modi. The President of UAE is Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed. If we talk about UAE, it is a Middle East country and the capital of UAE is Abu Dhabi. UAE was also in news as recently the world's largest e-waste recycling facility has recently opened in UAE at Dubai International Park. Apart from that, the country was also in news as UAE has started Lose to Win program to encourage people to adopt a healthy lifestyle. On the other hand, UAE is also the chair of Indian Ocean Rim Association for 2019 to 2021 and Bangladesh will be the chair of IORA for 21 to 2023. Apart from that, the Abu Dhabi Judicial Department of UAE has decided to include Hindi as third official language for its court work. So earlier, English and Arabic were the official languages in the courts. Apart from that, recently UAE and Saudi Arabia have launched a common digital currency named ABER. UAE also declared 2019 as Year of Tolerance. Next is, what is the current repo rate as per RBI's first bi-monthly policy of fiscal year 20? Right answer is 6%. So recently, RBI has announced its first bi-monthly policy of current fiscal year. And the new rates are, repo rate is 6%, reverse repo is consequently at 5.7%, marginal standing facility is at 6.2% and bank rate is 6.2%. So RBI has cut its repo rate under liquidity adjustment facility by 20 base points to 6%. Now your homework is to find out what is the relationship between money supply in economy and inflation and how money supply will be impacted because of these rate cuts. If we talk about RBI, RBI stands for Reserve Bank of India. It is central bank. The present RBI governor is Mr. Shaktikant Das and recently RBI constituted a digital payments panel for deepening digital payments in India and Mr. Nandan Nilekani is the chairman of this panel. Apart from that, RBI also constituted a task force to examine issues related to offshore rupee market and this task force is headed by Ms. Usha Thorat. RBI was also in news as recently it has named 3 banks as domestic systematically important banks. These are SBI, ICICI Bank and SDFC. Next is, what is India's GDP growth forecast for fiscal year 20 according to the Asian Development Outlook of 2019? Right answer is 7.2%. So recently ADB, that is Asian Development Bank, has released its Asian Development Outlook for 2019 and as per this report, Asian Development Bank has lowered India's growth by 40 basis points to 7.2% in fiscal year 2019 to 2020. Now, if we talk about Asian Development Bank, it was formed in 1966 and the headquarters of Asian Development Bank is in Philippines. If we talk about Philippines, it is an Asian country and the capital of Philippines is Manila. Philippines was also in news recently as it has officially left International Criminal Court. If we talk about International Criminal Court, it is based on Rome Statute and recently Malaysia has become 124th member of International Criminal Court. Malaysia is third ASEAN country to ratify Rome Statute after Cambodia and Philippines. And recently, Philippines has officially quit International Criminal Court. India is not a member of International Criminal Court. Next is, who has become the first African American female mayor in the history of Chicago? Right answer is Miss Lori Lightfoot. So Chicago has recently created history by electing an African American woman as a mayor for the first time and her name is Miss Lori Lightfoot. She is a former federal prosecutor. If we talk about Chicago, it is a city in USA. USA was also in news recently as US President Mr. Trump has officially recognized Israeli sovereignty over occupied Golan Heights. Golan Heights is a disputed area between Israel and Syria. The western side of Golan Heights is under the control of Israel, while the eastern side is under the control of Syria. USA was also in news as recently Mr. Jimmy Carter, the former president of USA, has become the longest living president in US history. USA was also in news because of ICJ verdict on Chagos Islands. Actually, recently, International Court of Justice had ruled that UK must transfer the Chagos Islands to Mauritius. However, it is a non-binding opinion. Now, how USA is connected to this? Diego Garcia is a part of this Chagos Islands, and Diego Garcia is a strategic USA air base. UK has leased this Diego Garcia to USA. Apart from that, USA was also in news as it has signed a deal with Oman to allow USA to use the ports of Duqm and Salalah. These ports are located near strategic Strait of Hormuz. Next is, which Southeast Asian country has recently introduced harsh new sharia laws that make adultery and homosexuality punishable by stoning to death? Right answer is Brunei. So recently Brunei has introduced harsh new Islamic laws to make adultery and homosexuality punishable by stoning to death. If we talk about Brunei, it is an Asian country and the capital of Brunei is Bandar Seri Begawan. The currency of Brunei is Brunei dollar. Brunei is also a member of ASEAN. ASEAN stands for Association of Southeast Asian Nations. The secretariat of ASEAN is in Jakarta. Jakarta is the capital of Indonesia. Indonesia was the host of 2018 Asian Games, while China will be the host of 2022 Asian Games. ASEAN was established through Bangkok Declaration in 1967. These are the members of ASEAN: Myanmar, Thailand, Cambodia, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Brunei, Vietnam, Laos and Philippines. So these 10 countries were the members of ASEAN. The most recent summit of ASEAN held in Singapore. ASEAN was also in news as recently the second ASEAN India Youth Summit held in Guwahati in Assam. Next is Maitri Bridge, which is in news recently, is built over which of the following rivers? Right answer is Indus. Maitri Bridge is over Indus River, and recently Indian Army has constructed this cable suspension bridge. It is longest suspension bridge over a river and it is built by engineers of Sahas or Yogyata Regiment of Indian Army. The bridge is expected to improve the connectivity between Leh and Ladakh. If we talk about Ladakh, recently the government of Jammu and Kashmir created Ladakh as a third administrative division. It will be third after Jammu and Kashmir. Presently, Mr. Satyapal Malik is the governor of Jammu and Kashmir. Jammu and Kashmir was also in news as it is the first state in India to criminalize sextortion of women. Next is, on which date the 2019 International Mine Awareness Day is observed? Right answer is 4th of April. So every year on 4th of April, the International Day for Mine Awareness and Assistance in Mine Action is observed. Apart from that, recently on 2nd of April, the World Autism Awareness Day was observed to spread public awareness about autism. Next is State of Global Air 2019 report, which was in news recently, is released by which country's health institute? Right answer is USA. So the State of Global Air 2019 report has been released by Boston-based Health Effects Institute. If we talk about few other reports, recently the State of Global Climate has been launched by World Meteorological Organization. Apart from that, recently Global Multidimensional Poverty Index was released. As per this index, India has drastically reduced poverty rates from 55% to 28% in 10 years between 2005-06 to 2015-16. The report was released by UNDP, that means United Nations Development Programme, and by Oxford Poverty and Human Development Initiative. On the other hand, recently United Nations released World Happiness Report. As per this report, India's ranking is on 140. Finland is the world's happiest country. On the other hand, Global Energy Transition Index was released. It was released by World Economic Forum and India's ranking is 76th. As per Corruption Perception Index, India's ranking is 78. Denmark is the least corrupt country. As per Global Gender Gap Index, India's ranking is 108. This is released by World Economic Forum and Iceland is on the top. In terms of Asia, Philippines is on the top. Overall, Philippines is on 8th position. Next is the NuGen Mobility Summit will be held in which of the following countries? Right answer is India. So the NuGen Mobility Summit will be organized by International Center for Automotive Technology at Manesar in Haryana. If we talk about few important summits, recently the second summit between Mr. Donald Trump and Mr. Kim Jong-un held in Hanoi in Vietnam. On the other hand, recently the Arab Economic and Social Development Summit held in Beirut in Lebanon. Apart from that, recently G20 Summit held in Argentina. This year, Japan will be the host of G20 Summit and India will host G20 Summit in 2022. On the other hand, recently the GCC Summit held in Saudi Arabia. This was 39th Summit and the 40th Summit will be in UAE. Next is Phayeng Village, which has been tagged as India's first carbon positive settlement, is located in which of the following states? Right answer is Manipur. So Phayeng Village is in Manipur and it is considered as India's first carbon positive settlement. Now first, let's understand what is carbon positive. A village is a carbon positive if it sequesters more carbon than it emits. Now as per the part of carbon positive village project, Phayeng will receive a grant of 10 crore to facilitate afforestation in the catchment of river Maklang that flows along the village. If we talk about carbon neutral, it means the net carbon emission is 0. And if we talk about carbon positive, it means carbon sequestration is more than carbon emission. If we talk about carbon emission, as per the Global Carbon Project, the top 4 emitters in 2017 were China, USA, EU and India. India emits approximately 7% of global emission, while China emits 27%, USA emits 15% of global emissions, and EU emits approximately 10% of global emissions. Apart from that, recently Assam government has launched Sacred Initiative to make Majuli Island as country's first ever carbon neutral district by 2020. Sacred stands for Sustainable Action for Climate Resilient Development. Apart from that, recently EU announced that it will be first carbon neutral major economy by 2050. Thank you, and that's all for the day.